Good morning, everyone. My name is Jeremy Walsh, and I'm the Director of Support, Training, and Documentation for BNI Connect. I'd like to welcome everybody to today's webinar. We're going to be talking today about the social media aspects of BNI Connect. So how to connect with other members around the world, how to find people, how to be found in BNI Connect, what you can do once you are connected with other people, and how to get engaged in conversations with other BNI members and directors all around the world. Today's webinar is scheduled for 30 minutes. That's 30 minutes of content. We also are running this as a live webinar, so that means that as we're going through the stuff today, if you have any questions along the way, please do feel free to ask them. The best way to ask questions is using the typing question panel that's here within the GoToWebinar software. However, if you are at a computer with a microphone or you're dialed in with the telephone connection, we can always open up your mic and you can speak your question as well. I believe there's a way to raise your hand as well if you would like to speak your question. Today's webinar is also being recorded. We put all of the webinars up in two places if you'd like to review them later. The first of which is on the support site. If you go to support.bniconnect.com or click on the question mark here within BNI Connect, this will take you to our support site. And if you scroll down to the bottom, there's a trainings section, and there's also a webinars forum within there. They're broken out by month, so the ones from May you could review, and you will notice that there are some number of different webinars, including a previous copy of today's webinar's content. You can also find those on youtube.com/BNI Connect Global, and you'll see our entire library of videos up here. So let's talk about the social media aspects. One of the first things you need to keep in mind when it comes to BNI Connect is that there are a lot of people on it. There are currently 150,000 plus members in BNI. That is a very big database of connections. Right now, there's about 90+% of the world on BNI Connect, about 135 or so thousand members. So you really can expand your network globally. Before you do that, though, you really do want to keep in mind that there is a visibility and credibility quotient involved with that, meaning do take some time to fill out your profile first. Let me tell you a quick story. I am a member here in the Rhode Island area. Have been a member since 2002, so coming up on 11 years now. I was sitting here in my office just working away one day, and a client of mine walks into my office, an existing client, and he says, you know, I need a referral. I'm like, oh, wow, great. How often does that happen? You know, I'm sitting here at my desk just working away, and a client walks in and asks for a referral. I'm like, sweet. How can I help you? He says, well, you know, I have an in-house bookkeeper, but they've reached the limits of their knowledge on QuickBooks. You know anybody that could help out with QuickBooks? And I said, yes, absolutely. I know somebody that can help out with QuickBooks. I really wanted to showcase BNI Connect and use the profiles in BNI Connect in order to pass that referral. So what I did was I went to our regional website. Now, I'm actually going to go to a test site right now because I don't want to throw anybody under the bus here. But then I went to Find a Member. Now, these regional websites are accessible around the world to everybody. So anybody can go to these regional websites and search for businesses that they'd like to refer to. So I started typing in accounting and hit search, and I came across the member, and I pulled up the profile, and this is what I saw. Not a very good indication, nothing that I could really pass over to my client and say, hey, look how awesome this person is. You really need to use this person to do their business. I ended up pulling out a little yellow sticky note and writing their phone number on a piece of paper. In contrast, let's say that somebody went to my regional website and they were searching for, let's say, me in order to find out my information or pass a referral to me. There's a lot more information. This is an instant credibility builder. It has my picture, it has my logo, it has a description of my business, it has ways to contact me, Facebook, LinkedIn, you know, Twitter. They can call me on the phone, they can go to my website, they can write me a letter if they'd like to. They know more about me right away. I will tell you that people are doing searches on Google and searches on regional websites single day. In order to be able to make those connections with other people, you do need to take a few minutes to fill out your profile. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that today. There is a webinar just dedicated to filling out your profile called Building VCP with BNI Connect. But let me give you the quick Reader's Digest version. The place to update all of that information once you log into the members only portion of BNI Connect, click on the My Accounts button in the upper right-hand corner. This will open up the screen where you can update all of your information. You'll see it's broken here into tabs. You have your main profile tab, which is your basic information, including your My Business description and your keywords. And we're going to come back to keywords in just a second. You can also change your username and your password, choose your language settings, and upload your picture and company logo. All of your phone numbers and contact details and your website and your social media links are all on the next tab. Here is the Bio tab, so do make sure to fill out this. This also helps with your visibility and credibility, including the bottom one is the TOPS profile, and keep in mind that that is the one that shows up on the public side of things as well. Let's go back to the main profile tab for a second. Now, here's where, when we're looking to connect with other members in BNI, and we're going to talk about connections today, it is really important to make sure that you have your keywords entered out here. Now, the keywords are really important because that's how people are going to find you when they don't know your name. It's fairly easy to find somebody when you know their name, but when you don't know their name, keywords play a very important role. So let me exemplify that a little bit. So in here, you can see that I have a number of keywords. So if somebody went to my regional website, and this, again, this could be a past member, it could be people that aren't even logged into BNI Connect, this is how they would find me. They'd be going to find a member, and let's say that they're looking for someone to help them with a help desk. They would type in help desk. The great thing is that because I have that as a keyword, that is going to find me. If somebody's, let's say, looking for a computer, they're going to find, oops, I think I typed computer wrong, computer. They're going to find a whole bunch of people. Let's say they get a little bit more specific and they're looking for a computer repair. Again, the list is quite long. So when you're picking out your keywords, do make sure that you're picking good words that are going to identify you in order to be found. Now, the same is true on the inside of BNI. So again, this is the public site, and you can usually tell because it has your region's name on the top. But once you click the Members Only or the BNI Connect and you log in, this is a public section. So this is the home screen. If you want to access the social media function, again, the connections, groups, the testimonials, what you would click on is the My Network tab here. And this has all the different social media functions. So we have the connections, we have the groups. The documents is a library of documents that your regional office has shared with all of the members in your region. Testimonials that people have left for you. The upcoming events that are in your region, so training events and networking events that they've put on your regional calendar. And BNI Connect also has an internal messaging system where you can send inside messages just to your connections. So what's the primary thing we're going to be doing is mostly connecting with other people. So there's a couple of ways that you can add connections. You can either click on the connections in here and click on the Add button, or you can use this magnifying glass up in the upper right-hand corner. So let's say I'm looking to connect with some other people here in BNI. This is the search screen right now that comes up. The easiest way to do that is if you happen to know the person's name. So, for example, we have a couple of people on the call today. I'm going to randomly pick somebody. We have a Carl Jensen on the call today. So let's say I wanted to connect with Carl. I could just type Carl's name in, and let's see if I can find him here in the United States, assuming he is from the United States. And it looks like I found a Carl Jensen from the BNI Tri-Lakes chapter. His company is Palmer Lake Veterinary Clinic, And is that actually you, Carl? You can type a little note in the questions box. Now, if I'd like to see more information about Carl, I can click on his name here. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to right-click on this and choose Open a New Tab so I don't lose my search results here. And I can see that he's in the Colorado Southern area, Tri-Lakes chapter. I can see some more information about his business. I can go to his website if I'd like to. I could also see information about his bio and his 60 seconds. I can see the people that he's connected to. I can see any testimonials that he's had. Looks like a couple of people have left him testimonials. I can see any photos that he's decided to share and any groups that he's participating in. Now, if I'd like to connect with Carl, there's a couple of ways I can do that. I'll see a plus sign here. Once I click that plus sign, what it will do is it'll send a message to Carl saying, hey, I'd like to connect with you. I'd like to add you to my connections. If I'd like to, I can customize this message. So let's say I wanted to customize this. Thanks so much for being on the webinar today. Once I click Submit, this will send a message to Carl saying that Jeremy Walsh would like to connect with you. Now, what if you don't know the person's name? You can still connect with people, and sometimes you may just want to find, let's say I'm looking for other veterinarians in the United States. I could do that. I could type in the keyword veterinarian. Hopefully I spelled it correctly. And this will search for anybody in the United States that has a keyword of veterinarian. And here I can see the list. It comes up with about 25 entries across the United States. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that currently, this is only finding the people that actually have put this in as a keyword. And that's why keywords are so very important. And we can, and actually, believe it or not, Carl is not in this list because Carl didn't put in veterinarian as a keyword. So again, when people don't know your name, it's very important to have appropriate keywords within your profile. Another way that we can connect with people, so let me go back and put Carl in here. Another way that you can connect with people is through other people's connections. So we can see here Carl. Now if I click on Carl, notice the plus sign is no longer here because I've already sent a connection request to him. Well, I could click on Carl. And again, looking at his profile, I can also see the people that Carl is connected to. And if I recognize somebody in this list, I can actually click right through to their profile. So let me look at Elizabeth Bryson here. And I can now look at Elizabeth's profile, and I can see that she's a farmer's agent. She's in the insurance business. If this is somebody I'd like to connect with, I could click this button in order to send Elizabeth a connection request. Similar to LinkedIn, I can then go and look at the next level of connections. So I could take a look at Elizabeth's connections, and I could click through to one of her connections, and so on and so forth. There is no limit to the number of levels deep that you can go here in BNI Connect. So now that you started connecting with people, how do you then manage those connections? Well, let me go back to my home screen again and back to my Network tab here. So you notice in the connections, it's just going to show you the first couple alphabetically in this list. You can click on the Manage button to get into the connections management piece. You could also click on Network up here in the upper left-hand side and go to Connections. Now, once we get in here, this is kind of like your Outlook address book, if you will. So it'll keep all of your connections in a folio here, I can scroll through that list here and see my 314 connections. I can also scroll them on this side, and on this side it has a little headshot next to each of them so I can recognize them as well. Now, even if you have never gone out and searched for a connection before, you will be automatically connected with all of the members of your chapter. So those connections are managed automatically by the system. So as new people join your chapter, they become a member in your chapter, they will automatically become a connection for you. So if you're looking to email or call one of your members, you can always go into your connections. You can click on the person's name and see more information about them. Abby is a member of my chapter in the graphic innovation. She does signs and vehicle wraps. So if I was looking to get a vehicle wrap or add a referral for her, I just needed to talk to her, I could always come into my connections here. I could click on her email address or copy and paste her email address. I could dial her phone number. I could also send her an internal message if I'd like to. I could ask her for a testimonial. I could give her a testimonial, or I could also go and view her full profile. Now, on people that are not members of your chapter, people that you've connected with, you'll notice there is one other option. And again, this person has a little bit more information in their profile. But you can also remove people from your connections through here as well. So once people start sending you connections, though, it is an opt-in. So you do have to accept your connections. So if we notice down here, there is a folder called Received Requests. Now, right now, my Received Requests is empty. So I don't have any pending requests here. But if I did, what I would see is the person's name here. And I would see an option to either accept the connection, to ignore the connection, or to reject the connection. Now, one of the other things you can do once you start connecting with people is to leave them testimonials. Testimonials are a great way to really help your fellow members to build credibility within BNI Connect. The way to give somebody a testimonial is to click on their profile here in your Connections Manager, and you can click the button for Give the Person a Testimonial. At this point, you just need to write out your testimonial. If you have one written somewhere else, you can copy and paste it into this box, and then you can submit this testimonial. Now, if you'd like to manage your testimonials, you can do that by clicking on the Testimonials button here, or if I go back to my home screen and on the My Network page here, you'll see the testimonials listed, and you can click the Manage button here. A third way to get there is from just about any other screen. You can click on Network and then Testimonials. Once I get to the Testimonials interface, we can see that I've received 9 testimonials, and I've given 16 testimonials, and I have one person that has requested a testimonial from me. If I'd like to review the testimonials, let's say I'd like to review the testimonial from Rick, I could click on Rick's name. I can choose whether or not I would like to display this testimonial on my profile, and I can also choose to delete this testimonial if I'd like to. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that with testimonials, you can only leave one testimonial for each person that you're connected with. So if you do make a mistake on the testimonial, or if you'd like to update it, you would have to ask that person to remove the previous testimonial before you can put another one up. I can also review the testimonials that I've given to other people. So if I'd like to review the one that I gave to Tony, I can review that quickly. Now, one other thing that you can do with the social media portion is that you can share photos with other people within BNI Connect. And you do that through the photo sharing library within your profile. Now, where does this show up? So there's on the bottom of each screen, there's this red section down here, and there's a little link here. If you like to other people on the profile. This will bring me to my inside member-only BNI Connect profile. And you'll notice that there's a tab on here for photos. And you can choose to share any photos that you'd like with other BNI members. Now, the way to get photos up here is to click on the Network Picture Gallery. Once we get into our picture gallery, you can photos new photos by clicking the Upload button. To upload a photo, just click the magnifying glass here and find the photo that you would like to upload. You could then crop this photo if you'd like to by dragging the box. Give the photo a title. And a description. And then you could submit that. And now you can see this photo is part of my library. One other great use for this is to be able to share client testimonials. Now, because this is the member-only portion of BNI Connect, and people do need to be logged in order to upload things, people have often asked, well, you know, I get a kudos or a testimonial from one of my clients. Well, how do I share that with people? One way you can do that is through this photos library. As long as you can take that testimonial and save it to a JPEG or a PNG or a GIF file, you can then upload it into your photo sharing library. For example, here's one that came in via email that I was able to just save as a JPEG file. The next one came in as a letter that I was able to scan into my computer and save this one as a PNG file. So it's a great way to build some credibility with other members that might be reviewing your profile here in BNI Connect. So now let's talk about the groups. And once you have your profile all set up and once you start connecting with people, the next thing that you want to do is to have conversations with other BNI members around the world. Now, the best way to do that is through the groups functionality in BNI Connect. And what the groups are their discussions that people are having on various topics with other members around the world. A lot of these groups have international potential. They have people, again, from England, from anywhere in Europe, from the United States, from Zimbabwe. We have BNI in about 50 countries right now, so it's really a way to reach out and touch more people. Now, the groups functionality, again, you can get there from the My Network tab, and you have the groups, and you can click Manage. You can also get there by clicking on Network, Groups. So the groups interface, when it first comes up, it's going to show you the list of all groups. And right now, there's 2,296 groups in BNI Connect. Now, some of those are closed groups, some of them are hidden groups, but a good majority of them, well over 1,600 of them, are live, open groups that you can jump in and participate in at any time. You can go through these groups one by just scrolling through the screen. You can go page by page and look at the groups. By default, they're going to be sorted by the most recent activity, but if you'd like to, you can drop this down and choose to see the most active groups. Now, with so many groups, it could take a while to go through each and every page to find the group. So there is a search function here as well. So if I click on this magnifying glass, you'll see a little search screen comes down. Now, let's say that I'd like to find all of the groups that Dr. Meisner has created. I could type in the creator of Meisner and click Search. And we'll see that there's 3 groups, 2 of which from the founder and why BNI. Both of those are created by Dr. Meisner, and he does participate in them. So if you do want to have a conversation directly with the founder of BNI, I would highly recommend coming to these groups and clicking the Join Group button. And the third of which is done by Dr. Meisner's wife, Beth Meisner, and this is the BNI Foundation one. Now, if you'd like to view a group without joining it, you can do that. Joining a group, what that does is you will then get the email notifications whenever there's activity in that group. If I'd like to take a look at what's going on in the From the Founder group, I could click on the title. And the first thing that I'll see is all of the topics. So you can see this is a fairly active group with many, many topics here. There's actually 54 separate topics. I can click on a topic that has messages in it. And I can follow along with the conversation. As a member of the group, you could also post a message and join in on that conversation. Now, let's say you would like to create your own group. As a member of BNI Connect, you can create up to 7 of your own conversations here in BNI Connect. And there's a ton of different uses for those. You could create one just for your chapter. That is an invitation only. You could create one to talk about your particular industry if there's not one already up there. To do that, just click on the button for Add Group. The first thing to do is to give your group a name. So I'm just going to call this one Test to be deleted because I'm going to remove it in just a minute. The next thing is to choose an access type. So this will decide whether or not people can participate in the group without being a member. So whether or not they can view the group or whether you give them the ability to view and post to the group. Now the group type, there's 3 different types of groups. There's a completely open group, meaning that anybody can search for, join, and participate that group. An invite only is a closed group. So only the people that you invite as the creator of the group can participate in that group. It will not be found by searching within the groups function. And finally, there's the hybrid of the two, and that is members can invite. So once people join the group, they can invite their connections to the group as well. Give the group a description. Now, the language setting is really just to let people know what the primary language of the conversation is going to be. It does not do any automatic translations or anything like that. It's really just to let people know, yeah, we're going to be talking primarily in German or Japanese or English. And then you can invite various contacts to this group. You can choose just one person or a couple of people by holding down the Control button, or you can even hit Control-A to select everybody, and then you can submit. And now this group will be created. So this will now show up in your My Groups. And if I go to my next page, we'll see my group here, Test to be Deleted. Now, if I'd like to, I can go in and create a topic and start the conversation going with the other people in my group. Now, I'm just going to go ahead and delete this one right away, though. Now, to make sure you're receiving your notifications, make sure you click on your My Account button and then click on the gear, so the Account Settings tab, and you'll see a group post email notifications. Now, if you have created groups, if you are the moderator, the owner of groups, I highly recommend that you use the every time a new post is added. As the moderator of a group, you want to be notified as soon as people are making comments to be sure that you are actively participating in that group. The next best option is the once per day, so you would get a daily digest of all the activity in that group, or once per week, or if you choose to, you can opt out completely of notifications from the group. So we are at the bottom of the hour. That does cover the social media aspects of BNI Connect. If you do have any questions, I am always happy to stay on these calls as long as people have questions until they are all answered. But for those of you that do need to leave right away at the bottom of the hour, I do want to say thank you very much for being here on the webinar with us today. Thank you for your time. Just a reminder that this will be uploaded to our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/BNI Connect Global. Again, that's youtube.com/BNI Connect Global. It'll also be on support.bniconnect.com, which you can get to by either just typing it in or clicking on the question mark link here in BNI Connect. And finally, if you could, go to facebook.com/BNI Connect Global, and please give us a like up here. Let us know what you're thinking, and we do webinar reminders and tips and tricks and upgrade reminders and things like that, all up here on our Facebook site as well. Finally, if you found something useful in today's presentation, a great referral for me would be to please go back to your chapters and talk about the webinars. Let people know about the upcoming webinars, and we would love to have more people participate. We'd love to get the knowledge out of our heads and into yours. You can see the upcoming list of webinars on your regional website or on the support site as well. Our next webinar is tomorrow for directors only, but then again on June 10th, which is Monday at 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern. That's going to be on the member tools and reports. So a lot of the things that you may never have even known existed in BNI Connect, so all the different reporting mechanisms and being able to email your chapter and take notes at a chapter meeting, those are the things we're going to be talking about on Monday. So please do encourage participation. Do we have any questions at all? Nan says, thank you. Well, you are very welcome. Brian also says thank you, and you are also very welcome. I think Sarah might have a question. Carl says, it's time to go add some keywords to my profile. Excellent. And Sarah said that it was very helpful. So again, thank you guys all for being on the webinar today, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week, and I look forward to seeing you on a future webinar. Happy connecting, everyone. Have a great day.